Hello, students. Welcome to another exciting week of learning. Today is Monday, December 14th, 2020. This is Ms. Phillips, and thank you for joining me for the writing workshop lesson for today. The materials that you will need for this lesson are just your pencil and your writing journal. If you don't have these supplies, go ahead and pause the video to collect them, then come back and press play. Okay, welcome back. Now that you have all the supplies that you need, let's go over our objectives. I will explain how writing can be impactful. We will recognize changes we want to see in the world and the audience for our writing. You will list your issues, audience, and delivery for multiple writing ideas. Students, today we will be talking about how your writing can change the world. The strategy will be for you to be able to find something that you want to see happen or something that you want to change. You're going to brainstorm an idea for a topic. Then think about who has the power to change what you want changed. It helps tremendously whenever you're writing to keep your audience in mind from the beginning. When you're writing a persuasive piece and asking for change or something that you want to happen, it's always a good idea to keep your audience in mind and think about the fact that you'll be writing to a specific audience. Your audience will be the people that you want that can make the change that you want to see happen. For example, if I'm writing asking for all sports teams to use reusable water bottles in an effort to help the environment, would I think of who I'm writing for my persuasive piece to, let's say, my audience, be a bunch of third graders or third grade art students? Is that who I would think of as my audience whenever I'm trying to convince all sports teams to use reusable water bottles? Or would I write to a group of book club members? No, neither of these options would be a good audience, correct? You're right. My writing may fall on the wrong audience if I'm writing to these two groups. And then my idea or my cause would be lost. I'm looking for an audience who will engage with my writing and my cause. Someone who will take up my cause and influence change. Therefore, if I was writing and pushing for all sports teams to use reusable water bottles to help the environment, I'm going to pick sports players, commissioners, or even anyone involved in the sports industry that can help me see this change happen. I need to write to convince them that my ideas and opinions are worth taking a look at and making a change. Your words as writers have more power than you realize. And you just need to make sure that when you are using them, you're focusing on who your audience is. Is your audience appropriate for what you're trying to accomplish? Who is your audience? Some other things to keep in mind would be, how will you deliver your message? Will it be a letter, a speech? Would you talk to the person directly? Will you use posters or some other form of visuals to get your point across and persuade them? Would you write an essay to be published? These are all things to keep in mind whenever writing a persuasive text. Take a look at this anchor chart here. When I say go, I want you to pause the video and copy down this chart into a blank page in your writing journal. You will need this for your assignment as well as to reference in the future anytime you're writing a persuasive piece or just looking for ideas. Go now to do this. Okay, writers, now that you're back, we're at the fun part. Please get out an extra sheet of paper just for the first part of this that is separate from the chart you copied down. This is where we're going to think about any issues that we may have that we want to see change in. You're going to make a list on your sheet of paper and name a few things that you want to see change with. What do you wish was different in the world? These can be environmental issues, community issues, something with a school or within your school or your own town. For example, I would like to see a shorter school day. Please think of at least 3 to 5 issues. You could use my example, but you also need to come with a few on your own and write them down into the list. Go now to pause the video and do this. Okay, so now you've come up with this list of all the issues that you want to see change in. Look over your list. Make sure that it's appropriate and make sure that the topics are topics that you can research about or know a lot about in order to write about. If you're happy with your list, go ahead and write down these issues into your anchor chart, just like I've done here. Pause now to do this. Okay, welcome back. Now that you've perfected your list of issues, I want you to think. Who has the power to make these changes? For example, if I wanted to make the school day a shorter school day, the people who had the power to make that change might be the principal, the superintendent, or the school board. I want you to take some time now to think about who might have the power to make the changes for each one of your influence or each one of your issues. Who has the power to influence change? Write down those people that have the power to make the changes in the audience section of your chart, just like I've done here. You can pause now to do this. Okay, so if these people have the power to make change, these are who your audience would be and should be. These are the people to keep in mind when you're writing your persuasive piece. These are those people who can influence change and therefore the people that you want to persuade of your ideas. You could start with phrases such as I wish or I would change to discuss your issue, and then you would deliver the reasons why. My next question is, what kind of writing do you think you'll make? A letter, a speech, a sign? If I was wanting to change something about my school day, which is that I want a shorter school day, and my audience is the principal, the superintendent, or school board, what's the best way I could deliver that information or deliver my ideas and the facts that support my ideas? Well, I believe the best way to deliver to my audience, to persuade them to make a shorter school day, would be to write a letter to the principal, the superintendent, and the school board, or write a speech and deliver a speech to them. What kind of writing do you think you'll make for each one of your issues? Each one of these issues or ideas is an option for a draft or a writing piece. Technically, you now have 3 to 5 solid topics to write about, just from the brainstorming that we've done so far today. And you can always use these ideas later when you're wanting to write a piece of work, a persuasive piece. You're going to continue your chart. You're going to write down appropriate delivery types into your chart. That is in the third column, the last column, the delivery column for your chart. You're going to write down any ideas, an example, a letter, a speech, are other ways that you can deliver your message to your audience in order to convince them of your ideas. Finish jotting the appropriate delivery types into your chart, and then you're going to take a picture of this chart and turn it into your teacher.